We just got WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas, and if I had to describe this year's rendition, I would say underwhelming. This was definitely the most mild Mania in terms of the actual show and build we have gotten in a while. From the IWC criticizing Triple H's creative direction, critical injury to one of the industry's best, seeming lack of respect to the women's mid-card titles, and the overall controversial PR around the WWE and its prominent stars prior to Mania. The build and the match quality of this year's Mania just didn't live up to the Mania we got from the year before. And really, how could you top that build and that match card? But as life goes, comparisons will always be made, and the jury is out that 40 is definitely better than 41. But that's okay, because 41 brought us some unique things that 40 couldn't. So with the conclusion of WrestleMania 41, let's do a deep dive into the event and see what it presented. The showcase of the Immortals opened up with the World Heavyweight Championship match between Jey Uso and Gunther. And this feud as a whole was the definition of peaks and valleys. Jey winning the Royal Rumble was not well received at all, and we just seen Gunther beat Jey at Saturday Night's main event, so this decision was kind of mind-boggling. Also, the IWC never failed to point out that Jey isn't a good in-ring wrestler, but WWE put themselves in a tough position where they needed to capitalize off of Jey's overness, if that's a word, and to capitalize off of that, you need to put a belt on him. Hence is why we got this match, and this match, Jey won, though the match was not good. In a rather bizarre ending, Jey captures the World Heavyweight Championship. The crowd really masked the mediocrity of this match. I'm afraid to say this match doesn't make Gunther look too good, even though I think he will recover. Overall, it was the right decision. Jey definitely deserved it. To follow up the opener, we got the War Raiders and the New Day, a match that virtually had no build at all. The New Day won, and if we're being honest, this match could have been an email. This match was no different than what we see on Raw from week to week. We got no Big E angle, no stipulation, just a regular old match. Meanwhile, we have the tag division on SmackDown going crazy and is leagues ahead of the Raw tag division. Mind you, they put a multi-man TLC match for the SmackDown tag titles on TV in place of this. The New Day do win their 12th tag title in a match that was a major miss. Continuing down the card, we get Jade versus Naomi. This match brought some life to the show as it was brutal and had some well-needed action. This match kind of had that Mania match feel as the story between these two dating all the way back actually had some tension. Solid match, and I felt like it delivered. Jade walked out with the dub as WWE is building her as the main player in the women's division. If that last match brought some life to the show, then this one brought the fire because Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight was great. I think LA Knight has really grown in his in-ring ability, and Fatu is always amazing to watch. And we see Jacob get the US title in his win. And this was kind of shocking, but I don't think it's a wrong decision at all. I'm just wondering what's next for LA Knight due to his 2 short US title stints, but we'll see in due time. Again, great match to pick up the life of this Night 1. Next, we get El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix, which was originally supposed to have Rey Mysterio, but he was injured on the SmackDown before Mania, and he was replaced with Fenix. I predicted Rey to win, but even with the replacement, I still think Fenix should have won. Plus, whether it was Rey or Rey, they should have beaten Americano because the shtick was funny, but I don't think it should have extended past here. But as my poor foreshadowing has exposed already, El Grande Americano won in a match that was good technically, but kind of couldn't kick it into that second gear. So yeah, just overall, just match. Then we got Tiffany and Charlotte for the women's WWE title. And what's not to say about this one? You got Charlotte burying Tiffany in a promo. Tiffany comes back and says that Charlotte's 0-3 in her marriages, and we quickly see that these women do not like each other. Yes, the match was sloppy, but it kind of gave us that layer of realism that they went out there and just beat the hell out of each other, which I can definitely respect. Tiffany walked away as the winner, which was a shock to most of us. And yeah, I guess it was a solid match. Sloppy, but solid. We finally get to the Night 1 main event, the triple threat, Rollins, Roman, and Punk. Now this had the big fight feel, from the entrances, the wrestling, and the atmosphere. Last but not least, the storytelling in this match, top tier. This pushes the envelope for all of these wrestlers' characters for the future while maintaining a great Mania match. Paul Heyman is truly wicked as he turns on a Punk to turn on Roman to align with Rollins, who picks up the W to end night one in a fashion that kind of carries the whole night and saving it from being, total poo poo. But with that, we'll move on to night two. We kicked off night two with the women's triple threat match between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. With these three players, we were in store for a banger, and that's exactly what we got. It's a great overall match from start to finish with a lot of energy. These three bringing the fight to each other. We get the beef between Rhea and Bianca, but overall, Io stands tall as she retains the Women's World Championship. Next, we got Drew and Damien in a Sin City Street fight that continued the energy that the women's triple threat started the night off with. A lot of people doubted this match coming in and its build, but those same people are definitely singing a different tune because this match was awesome with all the spots, the brutality, the weapons, and Drew and Damien working really well together. Any winner would have worked, but the winner of this match was McIntyre as we continue down the match card and we get the fatal four-way for the IC title. 3 straight matches in a row, straight heat. Carlito got speared again. Dom turned face, I think, and Dom also won the match with a massive pop from the crowd. And so far, night 2 is 3 of 3, all hits, no misses. Then we get Randy Orton's match, which I actually forgot about. He had an open challenge to the whole roster to face somebody here at WrestleMania and say his name, and he will appear because Joe Hendry answered the call. This match was entertaining, just a meme match with a fun RKO camera angle, as we see the Viper pick up another WrestleMania dub. But we get the dud of night 2 being Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. With the in-ring ability of both of these wrestlers, this had the potential to be a show stealer, but it just failed in my opinion. Similar to all the matches in night 1, it just never really kicked into that second gear. Karrion Kross made an appearance that had a cool pop from the crowd, but it wasn't enough. Logan Paul won, which I believe was the wrong decision. AJ Styles deserves better. And what I thought was going to be the worst match of night 2 ended up being a pleasant surprise, I guess, with Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and what was supposed to be Bayley, but Bayley got pulled. But we did get Becky Lynch, so we can't be too mad at that. The match was all right. It ended up being better than expected and definitely better than AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, so that's a thumbs up. And yeah, Lyra and Becky walks out as your new women's tag team champs. Right before the main event, we got a brief intermission with a stone cold appearance with riding ATV, crashing into a barrier, and apparently injuring a fan. But with potential lawsuits out the way, we get to the highly coveted main event, being John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Cena walked out with the black and white Titantron standing on his "you get nothing" statement. Cody had some motorcycles and an Iron Man helmet, and then the match was on, which proceeded to be absolutely terrible. Analyzing it from a wrestling aspect and even like just the main event to close WrestleMania as a whole, this match just did not deliver. Like the fans started cheering for Cena and booing Cody, which made it a bit awkward for the, heel and babyface interactions during the match. Travis Scott came out and it really slowed down the match to the point where if Cena wasn't in this match, it could have been easily one of the matches from night 1. And by miles, and I mean by miles, the night 1 main event was so much better than this one. It's like we just didn't care about the actual wrestling of the match. We just wanted to get to the match's conclusion, similar to the Jey Uso and Gunther match. And that conclusion see us get Cena get number 17. And I mean, shit, this is what we all wanted. But we wanted the match to actually be good. And I think once all the hype dies down and the nostalgia bait is put to rest, we're going to look back at this match and it's not going to be fondly remembered. Like, this match was that bad. Regardless, Cena deserves to break the record. I just wish it happened under better circumstances. Night 1 was carried by its main event, while night 2 was carried by everything but its main event. And long story short, the triple threats carried the entire PLE. This WrestleMania as a whole was underwhelming, and this would definitely go down as the worst WrestleMania in the Triple H regime to date. Anyways, on screen was my predictions and how many I got right and how many I got wrong. As far as ratings, I would give night one a 6 out of 10, with 5 of those points going to the main event, which carried night one. And then night two, I say it gets a 7-ish, 8-ish out of 10. That's all for this video, folks. Hope you enjoyed my review of it, and I hope you enjoyed Mania. Even with the lows and the underwhelmingness, it still has some good aspects to take away from it. As always, Jesus loves you all. And until next time, folks, peace.